Question 910. Is now the time to abandon the concept of church and state separation?
Hell no.
No, never is.
Never.
Wait. I would have never thought so until Dave made some points about it. And how our church... That was you, right, Dave?
I've made lots of points.
How the separation of church and state is what has given them the leeway to tread so heavily into our state.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I would have to think about it more. I don't really have an answer, but I take Dave's words into consideration. He makes a lot of sense.
If you look at any of the nations that did have it involved, like Ireland and England and things like that, the actual people have moved on from it because it was entangled. They got bored with it, grew up, and moved on from it.
I take Dave's words into consideration, and the answer is still no.
I don't
care what he says.
I take his words into consideration. I would still sooner be without the Church of England having any part in the state whatsoever.
Oh, so would I. But I find it funny that no one actually knows my words. Hanging with John Wilde says, it's time to make churches pay taxes. They are a business and pay up. Completely agree.
I agree. I agree with that, but again, it's one of the issues with America is would you make them pay taxes? What does that do to like the Johnson Amendment and stuff? Which is what they've been. I know Trump's been trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, but the point is that they're doing it already. I mean, this was my biggest argument.
They are doing it. It's just they can do it. They could be able to do it far more openly. But yeah, I still think on balance, I'd sooner see them pay up because, to be honest, a lot of them they're not. Very few of them are actually doing anything charitable with that money. I'm not going to say none of them. There are some that do.
No.
Hold on.
Some of them might give to do some charity as well.
Yeah.
And their core is not.
But the better of them, it'd be better to have them bloody taxed, and we can actually reinvest that
in charity.
That money to
anything,
or in infrastructure, so we're less reliant on fucking charity.
Yeah. Donoped says they are a business? ? They are a legalized scam. I like that. Ricardo says yes. That should not be a concept. It should be a rule. The problem is, I don't see how you can have this rule when you can't define what religion is. This is my biggest problem with it in the States, again. Okay? Because you can't... Why the hell are you grinning?
I didn't do it. I just clarify I haven't done anything.
I don't believe you. If you can't define exactly what a religion is and you have complete freedom from anything, you can turn around and say that how you kill a chicken is religious and the state can't interfere with it. You can also say how you beat your children is religious and the state can't interfere in it. Right? And this is the problem where you have this complete level of separation.
Well, I'll just say one sort of single word that can sum up your point exactly there, Dave. Scientology.
Yeah. Right. There you go. Doorknobhead says football is religious.
Yeah, it can definitely be tribal. I think it can be with people. Like, yeah, I know people. I'm a big football fan. But I couldn't exactly argue that point. That it is to a lot of people.
Hanging with John Wilde says, I will start a church on the bouncing yoga balls. Everyone has to sit on the balls.
I think that's kind of a question from the other day, wasn't it? About what we do with our cults and that if we had one.
Never Again says, if we'd stop giving religions the big tax breaks, they'd all go away. See, this is the thing. I think if we enforced the taxing and accountability, even this, I mean, in the States, even if you went down the rule of having them have to be as accountable as charities, you'd be better off. Amanda, what do you think?
If they do politics.
Yeah. No, full stop. All churches should have to be as accountable as charities. Charities have to produce accounts. They have to account for what they do. Amanda, what do you think about accounting? And making churches as accountable as normal charities?
Yes. I mean, it's not just about making them accountable as normal charities. Like you said, they have infiltrated themselves into the political sphere. They're, especially the evangelicals in our country, if you're going to have any say whatsoever in what's happening in politics, you need to monetarily support it. And it's bullshit that, and it's only Christian churches in this country. And especially in the past 5 or 6 years, it's become more and more relevant, and you have fucking churches that are actively, supporting certain candidates, specifically on the right, and therefore they need to pay up for this shit. They're supposed to be, you're supposed to have nothing to do with this. That's one of the rules that they have for being tax exempt, except that's completely flown out the window, especially with this administration. But in terms of charities, yes, they definitely need to be held accountable.
It's all right, they don't need to be tax exempt now. They're just getting handouts from the government.
I still think it would be better that they were actually taxed rather than were given status as charity. Charity would be given the same scrutiny as charities would be a step forward, in my opinion.
See, here's the thing. I think here's what we're missing, or the big thing we're missing. If you tax them and let them interfere into politics, they become competitive. They keep each other in check.
I'm so sick of this competition being the controller of capitalism.
No, I don't think it's a good controller. I don't think it's a good controller, but I do think that the reason the evangelicals have got control and have got so much power in the states, even though they are a minority religion, is because the other religions aren't fighting them.
Jenny, I tend to, not in terms of churches, but I disagree in the scientific sphere. Capitalism does help drive us when we are competing with each other. A lot of the times it's just competing to have ideas first or whatever, but the money. Yeah.
I don't dispute that as one of the motivating factors. Certainly in R&D, the creation of a product, the potential for copyright and trademarks, and singular production monopolization is certainly part of it. But they use the concept of competition in the market to be able to regulate everything, like hospital bills and doctor fees. Show me where that has occurred. It hasn't. It never will. Competition in schools is good for the economy. It's like, cut it out. Some things are not.
But you're talking about something where you don't have. I mean, this is where I think government within capitalism, government is meant to create markets. It's meant to create the market that can exist. Right, what you have got in the States now in things like the health.
The consumer creates the market.
No, because you can't have a fair market if the consumer creates the market.
There's no such thing as a fair market. There never has been. There never will be.
No, there can be fair markets, but the fair markets have. No, there can be though.
No, there can't. Government always interfere with the market.
Theoretically, on paper, there can be free markets. I think in free and fair markets. I don't think in reality.
I'm not talking about free markets. I'm talking about fair markets.
Yeah, I said free and fair.
I know, but my point is, I'm not talking about free. I'm talking about heavily regulated markets. I'm talking about a point where you can have something that you can't screw the consumer.
And people say that. People say that people say that Marxists live in a utopian fantasy. I don't know.
What did I come back to?
Whoa!
I went
right
to get baby handled, and what the fuck did I come back to?
Sammy says, so
cute.
Ridiculousness.
Amanda, explain. I don't know what happened.
Sammy says, so religions are like adverts that come to life on The Simpsons. We all need to sing, just don't look, just don't look. Yes. Right. Next question.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's fine. The cat, you don't like it.
Baby is so very, very cute.
Yes. We
Let's
love
just
the
stop.
baby.
Let's just stop the question and look at the baby.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.